from the heavier portion of the wheat that's edible. And what happens is as they grind up the wheat, eventually once enough of it's ground up, they'll take the wheat and throw it into the air. And the wind carries away the chaff, leaving what they need behind. So Gideon is doing an activity that requires open space. But he's not in open space. Why? Because if he's seen, someone's going to get what he has. So what he has to do in secret, and he has to do it out of a sense of survival. Gideon is in survival mode. He's in a place that is very inefficient to the process that he's trying to do. You need strong wind to blow away the chaff and leave the rest of the wheat behind. But in the bottom of the wine press is where we find Gideon. Not at the top, at the very bottom where there is less wind to be able to blow this stuff around. Very ineffective, very stressful, very hard, back-beating work that he has to do so that the Midianites don't take the little he has left. And so here we see Gideon in a place that is ineffective, that is stressful, a place not conducive to the work he needs to do. So if you're in a situation, right, and you're in a place that doesn't really quite benefit what it is that you have to do, how do you think you feel? You're frustrated, stressed out, mad. Why do I have to do this? Why is this the state of my life? Why can't I be free to do what I need to do? And eventually, when you stay in that place too long, bitterness starts to sit in. Frustration's there. Anger's there. And typically, who's the first person we blame? God. How can this be my plight? How did I end up here? And this is where we find Gideon. I want you to focus on his location, not just physically. We talked about the physical aspect, that he's in a physical place that is not conducive to the work that he's in. His emotional location is in fear and frustration. Fear that someone can come and get my stuff. So like I said, he's in survival mode. And in survival mode, anything is a threat. You're constantly looking over your shoulder to see if what I'm doing is being sought out from somebody else. Is someone going to take this little bit that I worked so hard for? He's stressed. He's worried. He's frustrated. And in the middle of it, he's also faithless. And the reason I say that is when the angel of the Lord reveals himself to him, this is what happens. He said, the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, "The Lord is with you, valiant warrior." Look at Gideon's response. He said, "Oh, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has all of this happened? And where are all his miracles in which our fathers told us about, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now he's abandoned us and handed us over to Midian." His faith is gone. He sees no way out. All he knows is I have to do and scrape and bust my butt every single day just to survive. But here comes the angel of the Lord saying something contrary to his current situation. He says, "Young, valiant warrior, you are going to deliver Israel." But Gideon's response is, and in my own little imagination, I'm thinking he's replying back with a sense of sarcasm. "What do you mean, young, valiant warrior? Don't you see where I'm at? I'm in the bottom of a wine press threshing wheat. Does that sound pretty valiant to you? I think not. Also, the fact is, my family, my clan, is the least of all in Manasseh. We the chumps. We're the underdogs. And on top of that, I am the youngest son in my father's house, meaning that when he dies, I ain't getting nothing. In biblical times, if you are the youngest son, you're not getting much of anything once your father perishes. Usually the inheritance goes to the oldest son. So if he's the youngest, there is no sense of hope to lead anything. There's nothing in his lineage, in his pedigree that says that I will amount to anything. But here's the angel of the Lord saying, you are a young, valiant warrior, and you will deliver Israel. He says, go in this strength of yours and save Israel from the hand of Midian. Have I not sent you? And in that moment, Gideon's like, this can't be real, right? How? I can't see that. All I know is survival. All I know is looking over my back, having to do what's necessary to get things done. This is my life. This is how it's shaped up. And God's abandoned us. So don't come here telling me that I'm going to do this. But as I continue to read it, there had to be something that gave Gideon a sense of hope. Or it could have just been the fact that he just wanted to prove the angel of the Lord wrong. That he went and he said, you know what? If I really am going to do what you say I'm going to do, sit tight. I'm going to bring an offering to you. So he goes and he kills a goat, gets some broth, some flour, things that he also had to work hard to do. It wasn't like getting a goat prepared took a short amount of time. That was a long time that he had the angel of the Lord sitting, waiting for him. But to put forth the effort, there's something that probably did stir in his heart when he told him what he was going to do. And so whether he was doing it out of, I might be proving him wrong, there was also a portion of him, a sliver of hope that was like, what if he is right? So he goes and he prepares the goat, and he brings it to the angel of the Lord. And what does God do? He sets it on fire, proving his power over the situation. And in that moment, Gideon's eyes is opened, saying, I actually am entertaining the Lord in my presence, so much so that he thought he was going to die because he saw his face. But God said, I'm not going to kill you, but you are going to do what I said you're going to do. And as I read this story, it's like, how often are we in a location where the physical, emotional, or spiritual, where we don't see a way out? Where peace is not in our minds, it's not in our hearts. All we know is the turmoil that's going on in our hearts. And then someone comes up to you and says, you're going to do great things. That's almost like the equivalent of saying you're in a nice giant office, right? But you're the mailman, the mail clerk. And you're doing all this work, you're getting the mail together, you're getting all the packages, and you're delivering it. And the CEO comes to you. You don't even know who he is. He undercover boss. And he shows up and says, you're going to run this company one day. I'm the mail clerk. What you mean? I'm not cut from the cloth that can run this company. I'm not prepared to do what you're telling me to do. And quite honestly, I need you to get out my face and speaking lies to me because now you're frustrating me and you're impeding my process. You're stopping me from doing something that I absolutely need to do. I'm in survival mode. I have to live. My family has to live. And you're speaking nonsense. But when it's the angel of the Lord, it's not nonsense, it's truth. And if we have a heart that can hear, we'll hear the truth behind the turmoil that's going on in our hearts. And that little bit of faith that's still there, that size of a mustard seed faith that is still there, will spark you to say, God, if you're really saying it, let me test you and see. And that's exactly what Gideon did. He said, let me test this out. And God showed him who he was. And despite where Gideon's location was, God's location dictated everything. Because when we first are introduced to the fact that God is there, he's sitting under an oak tree. in an area that's pretty much predominantly surrounded by rock formation. He's under a tree, which means he has some shade. He's relaxed. He's at peace. Gideon's not. So when God goes to speak to Gideon, he's speaking from his position, not Gideon's. He's speaking from the fact that he is all peace. He knows everything. He sees everything. He knows what's going to happen. And he doesn't let Gideon's position switch him up. He doesn't respond in the way that we would respond had we been in that situation, right? He didn't see his frustration and give it back